Hey, good day, everybody. Welcome back to our Chavruta sessions live from Jerusalem with Rabbi Chaim Goldberg of the Noahide World Center. I believe Passover is just winding down there in Israel, and so I think he'll be continuing with that theme, and I look forward to hearing what he's got to share. So let's just jump right in and say hello to Rabbi Goldberg. Shalom, Rabbi. You're live on the air. We're also live on the 7 Noah channel by Dr. Emnon Hever. So welcome, everybody, and we hope you enjoy.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good to see you. I missed you last week, and I'm sorry about for the inconvenient issue on Tuesday. Hope everything is fine with everybody. You also had Passover, no? It's sorry, not you. Speaking the Christian world, they also had a Passover or something, right? So it's a holiday, something like that. Fair enough. So as usual, I want to do something that is connected with Passover, and it's also looking forward towards the Independence Day, and also we have this week the Memorial Day of the Holocaust. Okay, so things that we're going to speak are going to be connected a bit. It will start with the Passover. We will look on things in the Bible, and from there we will also learn things for our days today. As you all know, one of the most important things that I'm trying to show, is that the way that we are learning and reading the Bible, it's not like a replay of a game, okay? As you all probably know, if you want to see a game today, you can see, the basketball game or soccer game, whatever it is, you can see it also as a replay. Okay, go to the TV. You will be able to see things that happened, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, a few years ago, whatever it is. But it's not the same like looking on things that are happening now. Okay, tonight is a football game or basketball game, a very important one. To going to be in the stadium and to leave this event, and you don't know what will happen, it's something else. It's a different, vibe. It's a different excitement. Now, there are a lot of people who are learning the Bible as a history book or whatever it is. The Hebrew nation is reading the Bible as like God is speaking with us now, live. And one of the things that I'm trying to show, along with the things that we are learning, is how basically it passed over along the years, and it was preserved, especially from the people who learned the inside of this thing, the insights, not only as a nice thing that we can learn and we can speak and we understand, whatever it is, but more to understand what it means to us in our days, to all of us, not only for the Hebrew people, for also the Noahide, those who are joining the Hebrew people, and how basically we have the possibility of understanding the steps and the behavior that we need to take. The responsibility that we need to take on ourselves, on our shoulders. So I want to speak today, and I sent it already on Friday to people so you can start to read it. I will say it like that. I want to speak today about the event of the 7th day of Passover. Now, Passover is being split to two. Not only the sea, okay, is being split to two, but also Passover. The first half or the first night of Passover is something that the Hebrew nation was very passive. We even say that in the big ceremony that we did last week. Ani velo malach, ani velo saraf, ani Hashem velo acher. The one who did those miracles, and the one who did the main miracle of the firstborn Egyptians that died, it was God himself. Nobody really did anything. The main thing that we did was a few days before that we took the lamb, we took the sheep, and we changed it to where we slept, to our bedroom. And it was really hard for the Egyptians to see that we're taking their master, the thing that the idol, and we are using it. We said to them that we're going to slaughter it. But we didn't do any miracle, any action, anything that brought Pharaoh to a stage that he ran away. We have a song, the kids have a song. That Pharaoh went out from the palace in pajamas. He was so terrified because he was also a firstborn. So he was afraid on his life. So he ran out and he looked, where's Moses? Where is Moses? Where is Moses? And when he saw Moses, he said two things. Let's see it inside. Okay. He didn't only say, your people can go out, take whatever you want, just leave yourself. I don't want to die. He also said, and bless me. Or I will say it in different words. He acknowledged that the blessing of this world is coming from the Hebrew nation. Let's see this inside. Okay, let me share the screen. Let's find it for a moment so it won't be, come on. Yes, okay. Starting to work. Everything here is starting to work. Pharaoh is not only sending the Hebrew people, now those words that everybody knows them, let my people go. Moses is all the time saying, let my people go. And Pharaoh is saying, no, I don't want to. And we said it's very reasonable. Okay, we said it. It's like taking all the stock markets from the United States and bringing it to Israel. Nobody is going to let this to happen. The same thing, okay? But at the end, Pharaoh is saying, okay, you can go out. But again, as I said, he's not only saying you can go out, he's also saying you need to bless me. And when he's saying those words, you need to bless me, here it is. Please read verses number 31 and 32, please. Done.
Okay, we're in Exodus chapter 12, verse 31. So he called for Moses and Aaron at night, and he said, get up and get out from among my people, both you as well as the children of Israel, and go worship the Lord as you have spoken. 32 says, take also your flocks and also your cattle as you have spoken, and go, but you shall also bless me.
Basically, this part, you shall also bless me, is the addition that Pharaoh gave, that he is acknowledging that the blessing of this world is coming from the Hebrew nation. This he wasn't supposed to say. Now he is acknowledging that. I want to remind us all in Genesis chapter 12, in the first 3 verses of chapter 12, God is saying to Abraham, you are going to be the blessing of this world, and everyone who is going to bless you is going to be blessed. Everyone who is going to curse you is going to be cursed. And this is basically what Pharaoh is acknowledging. So all of these events that we celebrated, not this Saturday, but the last Saturday, the first one, the one that you skipped, as it was the end of Saturday, okay, and Motzei Shabbat on Sunday evening, okay. This is an event that we didn't do any action to gain this event. I will say it like that. We did a small action. It's not that we didn't do anything, but we didn't do this miracle or something like that. And now let's jump for 7 days. What is happening after 7 days? So for this, we need to jump 2 chapters, okay, to chapter 14. And let's see for a moment what's happening there. And we can be amazed a bit. It's a bit surprising what's happening. In chapter 14, again, I'm sorry. It is. I took it out, okay? Now, God is doing, I will say, a trick, okay, to Pharaoh. Let's start to read. Read verse 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Please.
Okay, Exodus chapter 14. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel, and let them turn back and encamp in front of Pi-hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea. In front of Baal-zephon you shall encamp opposite it by the sea. Verse 3, and Pharaoh will say about the children of Israel, they are trapped in the land, the desert has closed in upon them. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will pursue them, and I will be glorified through Pharaoh and through his entire force. And the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord, and they did so.
First of all, we said the word Pi-hahiroth is opening the mouth. We said that as long as the Hebrew nation is inside the boundaries, the word Egyptians is boundaries, okay? We can't speak. Moses can't speak. The words of God can't go out. So the first thing that we need to do is to reveal, to do redemption to the words. So the words of God will be able to go out. So this is Piachirot, the mouth of the freedom, okay, the freedom of mouth. This is the word Piachirot. But here God is doing a trick because he's telling them to turn around and to go back. And then Pharaoh will say, okay, they're confused. They're not in the right track. So come on, let's capture them again. And then God is saying, everybody will know that I'm God. Okay, and then it's also says that please let's read verses 5 to 8, please. We're running on this, but it's okay, please.
Verse 5, it was reported to Pharaoh that the people had fled, and Pharaoh and his servants had a change of heart toward the people. And they said, what is this that we have done, that we have released Israel from serving us? Verse 6, so he, Pharaoh, harnessed his chariot and took his people with him. 7, he took 600 select chariots and all the chariots of Egypt with officers over them all. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and he chased after the children of Israel, and the children of Israel were marching out triumphantly.
Okay, on one side they were very, I will say, happy with themselves. Okay, they didn't acknowledge yet what's going to happen now. On the other side, he's running after them. He's chasing them with how many people? How many? I will say, how many tanks does he have? In verse 7. 600. Okay, maybe 2,000. How many people do we have from Israel? 600,000 people, right? Okay, and then the Egyptians is running after them, and when the Hebrew, let's read verse number 10. First of all, I'm going to show you a few things. Okay, we're going to drill inside of it.
Verse 10. Pharaoh drew near, and the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians were advancing after them. They were very frightened, and the children of Israel cried out to the Lord.
They cried to the Lord. Very nice. Okay? And now that they cried to the Lord, this is the most, I will say, obvious things that they know what to do. And what happened in the beginning of Exodus, in chapter 3, they cried to the Lord, and Lord, God sent them Moses. Now, they're also, again, in some sort of I will say, a terrifying moment, and they're crying. First of all, I have a question. Why are they so afraid? There are much more than them. There are much bigger amount of people if you compare them to the Egyptians. Why they're so afraid? Why they're so terrified? I will answer that. It's not the time that we're going to do the ping pong, okay? Because I want to have a lot of things here. Let's not forget that for 3 generations at least, it might be even more than that, but the minimum was 3 generations. They were all in the mindset that they are slaves to the Egyptians. Not only me, also my father, and also my grandfather. I don't know, I have no recognition of a situation where the Egyptians are not my masters. So it's true that God took us out from Egypt, but when I see my master, I'm afraid. It's what I'm saying now is one of the interpretations that we have, not Rashi. This is why I'm not showing this. Okay, it's in Ebenezer, whatever it is, but it's very reasonable. Think about this for a moment. And let's jump for a moment to the modern life, and let's go to the South African people. You will see that this is also what happened there when they did in 1995, okay? Something like almost 30 years ago. They also did a big redemption with the Nelson Mandela, whatever it is. It took time because the people there were still under the mindset that they are slaves. And this is what's happening here. There are a large amount of people than the Egyptians. But even though in the mindset, they are still very, I will say, in the mindset of slaves in front of their masters. So they are very afraid. And the most simple thing that they have to do is to cry, or um, in the Hebrew language is the word also prayed. They started to scream and to pray in front of God, save us. But now we're going, it's very important also to realize what's happening here. We have 4 different kinds of people in this time of the history. The Hebrew nation is being splitted to 4 kinds, okay? Let's read them carefully. I'm going, it's 11 and 12 are going to show 4 different kinds. Please, Dan.
All right, 11, still in Exodus 14. They said to Moses, is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you have taken us to die in the desert? What is this that you have done to us to take us out of Egypt? 12. Isn't this the thing about which we spoke to you in Egypt, saying, leave us alone and we will serve the Egyptians, because we would rather serve the Egyptians than die in the desert?
So basically it sounds like one, right? They're saying to him, we want to live in Egypt. Why did you took us out? Now look at this. Look at the doubts of the Hebrew nation. First of all, let's look at the doubts of the Hebrew nation. The Hebrew nation here is with a lot of doubts. Is it good that we went out? Is it the right timing? Is it the right thing to do? All those questions are raising here, okay? There are 4 different kinds of people here. And in a moment we can see them, because Moses is answering 4 answers, and it's all also already being hinted here. But I want to jump for a moment and to show you, there's one thing to be terrified and to cry and to scream in front of God and to pray that he will save us. This is one thing. But there is also another thing, okay? Just a moment, that we won't get disconnected. But there's also another thing where you're starting to doubt if it's the right step, the right move to go out from Egypt. Those are 2 different things. I can say that I'm in a very hard time, okay? But do I have a doubt about that it's the right thing what I did? God said to us that he's going to do to us some sort of a redemption from the Egyptians. And Moses came and we went out from Egypt. Why do I have doubts? Because it's a bit hard now. Let me show you the source, okay? The beginning of those doubts. You need to understand, I will say, the logic of the Hebrew nation. The logic of the Hebrew nation is a bit different than the rest of the world. And we need to understand that. So let me show you for a moment the source of this. So for this, I'm not going to close this important verse. Let's go to Genesis, chapter 15. In chapter 15, there is a very big event that God is doing some sort of a connection with Abraham, and he is telling him that Abraham is going to be the nation that is going to lead the world in the morality side. Moral is supposed to be learned from Abraham, right? And we have this very important thing that, you know what, let's read it for a moment. Let's read until verse 7, please.
Okay, what chapter?
This is chapter 15.
Okay, Genesis chapter 15, verse 1. After these incidents, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, "Fear not, Abram, I am your shield. Your reward is exceedingly great." And Abram said, "O Lord, what will you give me, since I am going childless, and the steward of my household is Eliezer of Damascus?" And Abram said, "Behold, you gave me no seed, and behold, one of my household will inherit me." Verse 4, and behold, the word of the Lord came to him, saying, "This one will not inherit you, but the one who will spring from your innards, he will inherit you." And he took him outside, and he said, "Please look heavenward and count the stars, if you are able to count them." And he said to him, "So will be your seed." Verse 6, and he believed in the Lord, and he accounted it to him as righteousness. 7, and he said to him, "I am the Lord who brought you forth from the Ur of the Chaldees to give you this land to inherit it."
Think about this for a moment, okay? There's some sort of a vision, prophecy, whatever it is, that God himself speaking with Abraham and telling him, surprisingly, two things. First of all, the one that is going to inherit Abraham is going to be his son, his real son, not this Damascus, Eliezer of Damascus. And the second thing, that this is the land that he's going to inherit. Two things. Who is telling this to him? God is telling this to him. Can you have any doubts about this? When God is saying, promising something like that, you don't have any doubts. Let's look at verse number 8. Please, Dan.
Okay, verse 8. And he said, "O Lord, how will I know that I will inherit it?"
Whoa. The doubt is coming. The doubt is coming. Abraham have a doubt. God is answering him. Okay? I'm not going inside too much to what the answer of God. Basically, God is answering him that the connection between the Hebrew nation and God is not going to be breakable. Okay, it's not. There is no way that any nation will replace the Hebrew nation. Okay, this is basically his answer. I'm not going inside to this. Read it after that. You will see it. It's a bit. You need to understand how to read it. Whatever it is, we're not going to learn this now. What I want to explain is when God is saying to Abraham that his son is going to inherit him, and more than that, that this is the land that he's going to inherit, the Hebrew land. Abraham is so surprised because we are all in some sort of an exile, especially after the Babylon Tower, where God spread us over. We are all in some sort of a, not in our place. And suddenly God is coming to him and saying to him, you know, you are the only one that is going to be in your place. Not always. There will be timings in history that your destinies, that your kids, that your nation is going to be in the exile. What exile? The others. Is going to visit the others in their exiles. They're also going to be in exile. Okay? But when they are coming back to their homeland, whenever they're going to be here in this homeland, by the way, here at the continuous, God is telling him that the Hebrew nation is going to start in an exile in Egypt, and then they will come back to this land. And we need to understand, Abraham is so surprised from this thing, and he's saying, is it true that me and my destinies are going to take this responsibility of inheriting land that God gave us and bring the world the message of morality and connection with God? I'm not 100% sure that I'm capable. Basically, this is what Abraham is saying. Okay, we're not learning this in profound way, but just to understand what's happening. And this is what he's asking him. Are you sure that we're going to inherit it? Are you sure that we are going to be those people? So the doubt is not starting in Egypt when we went out from Egypt. You see, it's the same thing. We're going out from Egypt. A bit of a problem. We told you we want to stay in Egypt. Who said that we're supposed to go out from Egypt now? It's not the timing. Why are you doing this? It started already with Abraham. Listen good. Also today, listen good. 75, 77 years next week, after we went out from the exile of the whole world, from more than 200 countries, not only from one country like from Egypt, from 200 countries, after 2,000 years, not only after 400 years, okay? There are people here in Israel. We have a bit of problems. We have a bit of, I will say, hard times. There are people here who are asking the same questions. Is it true that this land is for us? Are we not supposed to give it to others? Are we not supposed maybe to go back to other places? You see, you're starting to realize we are the same people. We are the same. We have the same questions. We are doubting ourselves. Are we capable to carry this big mission? Now, if you will think about this even more, one step profoundly, you will realize that if you want to give such a mission to someone who is very proud with himself, okay, and so you're saying to him, God saying to him, you're going to lead the mission of morality in this world, and he's a very proud person, and he's saying, yes, I was waiting that you will tell me this. He is not capable to do this mission. Only one who have, I will say, we call this in Hebrew, anava, okay, a bit of humility, that is doubting himself all the time. This is a person who is capable of doing this mission. It starts with Abraham. It's continue with the Hebrew people there, and it will continue on along history all the time. Why did I say that we have here four kinds of people? So please read for a moment verses 13 and 14, please, Dan.
All right, 13. Moses said to the people, don't be afraid, stand firm and see the Lord's salvation that he will wreak for you today. For the way you have seen the Egyptians is only today, but you shall no longer continue to see them for eternity. 14. The Lord will fight for you, but you shall remain silent.
So here we have a few kinds of answers, okay? First of all, for those who said they are very afraid, he's saying to them, don't be afraid. And those who said that they want to go back to Egypt, he's saying to them, you won't see them anymore, okay? Those who want to say that they're going to fight against the Egyptians, he said to them, you don't need to fight them. God is going to fight them. Now, there are a few kinds of, I will say, a few kinds of groups inside the Hebrew nation. Actually, I don't want to be in this side too much, something that maybe we need one time to open it much more. There are a few kinds of, I will say, how to deal with this moment, with this crisis that we have now, that the Egyptians are coming back. How to deal with the crisis that now we have, that the Hamas and the Hezbollah and the Iranian people are saying that they want to destroy the Hebrew nation. There will be those who are only praying all the time to God. There will be those who say, let's go back to other countries. Let's go back to Egypt, to other countries, whatever it is, okay? There will be those who will say, we're going to fight and only to fight, whatever it is. And Moses is saying to all of them, be aware, God is going to fight. But now we're coming again to the most surprising point and the main turning point of this situation. Because now we're already in the seventh day, okay? Before this chapter, it's already said that the Hebrew nation went 3 days, and then there were 3 more days that people went back to call from the Hebrew people, okay, to call Pharaoh and to say they're not coming back. And then Pharaoh in 1 day, so it's the 7th day, okay, he came there. And now we're coming to the point of the 7th day. And this is the miracle of the sea. And now let's look at the most surprising thing that God is saying to Moses. Now, Moses, we know, was the best person, I will say, for bringing the Torah and to speak with God. And when the Hebrew nation is pointing him and calling him and telling him, please help us, assist us, Moses is praying to God, right? Read for a moment verse number 15.
15. The Lord said to Moses, why do you cry out to me? Speak to the children of Israel and let them travel.
What is why? Why do you cry out to me? What God is saying to him? Stop praying. It won't help. It won't help. Your prayers are not doing anything here. I need to explain this, okay? But first of all, let's see this in Rashi for a moment, Okay, if I'm not correct, Rashi is bringing it. 15. Yes. He's really saying to him, Moses, your prayers are nothing. They won't help anything here. Okay. First of all, you can see here. Okay. Please read this for a moment, so we'll see it's the seventh day. Okay, please. Done.
Okay, so this is Rashi from verse 5. He, Pharaoh, sent officers with them, and as soon as the 3 days they, the Israelites, had set to go into the desert and return had elapsed, and they, the officers, saw that they were not returning to Egypt, they came and informed Pharaoh on the 4th day. On the 5th and the 6th days after the Israelites' departure, they pursued them. On the night preceding the 7th, they went down into the sea. In the morning of the 7th day, they, the Israelites, recited the song of the sea from Exodus 15, 1-18. Therefore, we read in the Torah the song of the 7th day, that is, the 7th day of Passover.
Yesterday. Okay, so this is what we said. Now let's continue on to the verse that we were before. Yes, just a moment, we will be there.
All right. The Lord, or verse 15, the Lord said to Moses, "Why do you cry out to me?" This verse, Rashi says, teaches us that Moses was standing and praying. The Holy One, blessed be he, said to him, "This is no time to pray at length when Israel is in distress." Another explanation of God's question.
Never mind. First of all, it's not the time to
time
pray.
for action,
Time for action. What is the action? Let's read for a moment. What is the action?
16?
Yes.
Yeah, he told him, "And raise your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea and split it. And the children of Israel shall come in the midst of the sea on dry land."
When you read it, you say to yourself, okay, you're saying to yourself, Moses put up, the stick, and the sea got split. But it's not what happened. Okay, there's something there inside. What is the big thing inside? Now, Rashi is not bringing everything, and I'm going to add to say, and you can look after that in the Midrash, you will see it. Okay? Please read for a moment this part. They have nothing.
Speak to the children of Israel and let them travel. They have nothing to do but to travel, for the sea will not stand in their way. The merit of their forefathers and their own merit and the faith they had in me when they came out of Egypt are sufficient to split the sea for them.
Now, what's happening here is very simple. We have the Midrash is saying something really amazing. It's saying like that there was, I will say, in the court of heaven, in front of God, there was the Hebrew people on one side, and let's call it the angel of the Egyptians, okay? The idea of the Egyptians on the other side, as we see also in Daniel, okay, the book of Daniel, that each, I will say, a nation have some sort of an angel, an idea that is this nation is representing in this world. And this angel came in front of God and said to him, "Why are you rescuing the Hebrew nation and you're going to drown the Egyptians? Those are not better than those." And he's saying, each one of them are worshipping idolatry. Go to Yechezkel chapter 20 and you will see it's written down. The Hebrew nation inside Egypt, they worship idolatry. Both of them are worshipping idolatry. Both of them did a lot of hard things. Why? You're giving the Hebrew nation one step or advantage up front from the Egyptians, and you're killing the Egyptians, and you're saving the Hebrew. And this is a stage where God had no answer. Let me say this like that. Okay, he didn't have an answer. He said, it's true. And for here, we're going to one of the most important points of the Hebrew tradition and mindset, I would call it like that. That God won't do a miracle unless there will be also some sort of a support here from the people here in this land who are alive today. And what happened there is that the sea didn't get split. Not at all. Moses is standing there. The wind is going. And Moses is telling them, go inside. And they're going inside. And the first one who is going is Nachshon ben Aminadav, okay, the master of the Judah, okay, tribe. By the way, they were fighting there. They were throwing stones one on each other. Each one of them said, I'm going to the first. But at the end, Judah went first. He is a king. And he's coming to a stage where the water is, he can't breathe anymore. And he's saying to God, the water came to a place where all that I'm going to die, or that you're going to split the sea. And when he came to this stage, what is written down in Rashi here? The faith that they had in me when they came out of Egypt, okay? And their own merits of their forefathers, those two things with their action, this is what helped God to decide that the Hebrew nation is going outside, and the Egyptians who conquered the Hebrew nation for 200, 400 years, whatever it was, going now to the numbers, they're going to drown. But there is no way of doing a miracle unless there will be the help of the people here of doing actions, because this is what God is expecting us to do, even if on the reason side we have no explanation how it's going to be fixed or how things are going to be organized in the right way. This is one of the most interesting, I will say, confusing sides in the difference between the Hebrew tradition and the rest of the world. Okay? The rest of the world is waiting that something will happen, a miracle will happen. Okay? The Hebrew nation is saying, no, we are partnership with God. God is telling us what He is, I will say, expecting from us, and we are doing it, and there will be times in all sorts, I will say, of test times that in a reasonable, it's unreasonable to behave like that. Or it's unreasonable to continue in this progress. Because in a reasonable way, you say to yourself, something here is, it's not working. But then, if you continue on, because this is a message, and this is what God is expecting you, this is where God is going to help, to assist you in a miracle way, and not in a normal way. Okay? And this is what happened there. It's not that it's openly, suddenly there was a miracle. No. There was a very hard, I will say, action of the Hebrew nation, of the believers there, to do an action, even though to go inside to the sea. Something here is wrong. No, but this is what God said to us to do. And now, when we have the partnership with God, we did something, then God is also helping us with the other side. And this is teaching us one of the most important things, one of the most important, I will say, lessons, that when you do the right thing, it might be that at the beginning, you will have, I'm calling it some sort of a test, how much you really believe in what you do. And there will be all sorts of uncomfortable situations. But if you will continue on, the boundaries will move aside. And everything will fall inside to the right place. And this is what happened here. If you read it without the knowledge of the Hebrew, I will say, sages behind the scenes, you might wrongly think, that the issue of miracles is something that's coming suddenly from out there without any actions that we do. Let me show this in another place. Okay? And this is one of the biggest, I will say, debates that if I remember correctly, Golda Meir was one of the prime ministers of the Hebrew, the Knesset of the members. She was the prime minister of Israel in the um, after the 6 Day War. Okay, in the what we call the Yom Kippur War. Okay, in 74, and she went after the 6 Day War. I want to remind us all: the 6 Day War was that we got attacked from Egypt and from Syria, and then also from Jordan. And this is where we released the places of the Bible. Okay, Nablus, Bethel, Jerusalem, the Kiryat Arba, where the domes of the forefathers, whatever it is. This is the 6 Day War in 1967. And I want to show you for a moment something from the Bible, and then I will explain the discussion that Golda Meir, okay, the prime minister, had with the Pope. The Pope, okay? And now we will understand the differences, okay, between those two. Let's jump for a moment to chapter 1. At the beginning of chapter 1, okay? Chapter 1 in the beginning of the Bible, okay? Chapter 1 in Genesis. Oh, come on. Why it's not working? No. Go on. I know. Sorry. I have it here. Chapter 1. And what I want to do is to read the first Rashi commentator on the Bible. Okay, that's it. God created the world. Now look good.
Would you like me to read it, Rabbi?
Yes,
okay. In the beginning. In the beginning, said Rabbi Isaac, it was not necessary to begin the Torah except from this month is to you, from Exodus 12:2, which is the first commandment that the Israelites were commanded. For the main purpose of the Torah is its commandments, and although several commandments are found in Genesis, example, circumcision and the prohibition of eating the thigh sinew, they could have been included together with the other commandments. Now, for what reason did he commence with, in the beginning? Because of the verse, the strength of his works he related to his people, to give them the inheritance of the nations, from Psalm 111:6. For if the nations of the world should say to Israel, you are robbers, for you conquered by force the lands of the 7 nations of Canaan, they will reply, the entire earth belongs to the Holy One, blessed be He. He created it, this we learn from the story of creation, and gave it to whomever He deemed proper. When He wished, He gave it to them, and when He wished, He took it away from them and gave it to us.
Now the main, I will say, debate is under this word, okay, that we conquered, okay, inherited the nation. You are robbers because you conquered this land. And the Pope said to Golda Meir, to the prime minister, he said to her, why did it with a war, with a fight? You were supposed to wait that God will give it to you. And she answered him, no, when we need to conquer it, we will conquer it. We came to a stage we can conquer it, we can take it. This is what we're going to do. And if we will look very, in the right wordings, okay? It's the same word in English, it's the same word in Hebrew, kifshua, and we will go to verse number 26 here, straight after man was created, okay? Verse number 26, we're still in chapter 1, you see? What God said to Adam, just a moment, not 26, sorry, not 26, just a moment, let me go. Just a moment, let me go. Rashi for a moment. I think it was 26. Why did I lose it? Sorry for a moment. Just a moment. Remove you a bit. Okay. Please, sorry, 28. Sorry. My mistake. 28, please. And God bless.
All right. And God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the sky, and over all the beasts that tread upon the earth. Active
The
mandate.
word subdue it, okay, conquer is it. Conquer the land. This is where God is expecting us to be in partnership with him. And we need to do that. And this is basically what Rashi is saying in the first verse. And this is the big debate between Prime Minister and the Pope. The Pope is saying, no, you need to wait. God will give it to you. No, this is not what we do. What we do, basically, is partnershiping with God. And this is part of the freedom of choice that we have, that we're taking action on one side. We're not waiting that things will happen. And suddenly the world will get upside down to a better world. And one of the most amazing things that every time that we're sitting down together, I'm getting also, strength from that, is that you also, each one of you is taking this step. You're not staying and you're saying to yourself, the world will be good one day. You're taking an action, even though this action might be a bit hard, a bit complicated, with your families, with your friends, whatever it is. You do take an action. You're not staying in a place where you're saying to yourself, everything will be by itself. And this is, I will say, the main, lesson of the Torah. And now when we read this for a moment, when we read again what happened there in Exodus, that God is saying to Moses, it won't help to pray. The prayer is not enough. You need to do an action. So the weight between those two, I will say, nations, the Egyptians and the Hebrew people, will be in a way that the actions of the Hebrew people is much higher and much, I will say, strong than the Egyptians. Okay, and this is where God is going with the Hebrew people. No, it never stopped. On one side, we're doing actions. On the other side, we all the time have doubts inside ourselves. Okay, this is some sort of a complex, I will say, not philosophical, more.
It's a dilemma.
Psychology, the psychological conflict that the Hebrew nation is inside with. But on the other side, the Hebrew nation is doing actions. We're not waiting that the Messiah will come. We are doing all our best to bring him, okay, to bring the world to a better stage. Again, partnershiping with us, and we're all partnershiping with God. But this is one of the most important lessons that we need to learn from this thing. Now, when there is, and this is one of the things that I wrote also for the things that I sent already on Friday, and you can see it also I can send the link again. When you're starting to realize that the Hebrew nation is on this, I'll say, mood, you see that we have an interesting way to understand or to view this world in a way that we have freedom of choice. We can always sit backwards and to say that we don't want to do this action, or we can do the other way. We're saying to ourselves, okay, we're learning, we're investigating what God is asking us to do in our generation today, and we're doing those actions, and we're continuing, and we're progressing, and the world is moving to the next stage. We're not standing in one place. We are connected, related with things from the past, and this is helping us to understand and to view the world in the right way. But we are still moving on to the next stage. This is more or less the main things that I want to speak tonight. Again, I wrote it down also in English. The truth is that not long time ago, but don't tell this to everybody. It's only us can hear that. Yes, the AI also did for me a very nice. How do you call it? You see that? You see? Tell me that it's not nice.
Beautiful.
I will send it. Wait! I lost it. Can't believe it. It is.
The Red Sea, human freedom, and the leap of Emunah, or faith. You know, Rabbi, I shared something similar to this the other day. I was chatting with a Christian fellow who's been asking me a lot of questions. And he went on about the millions of people can't all be wrong. I said, reality is it's easier to be rescued than it is to put in the hard work. I said, if you were stuck in the middle of the lake out there, would you swim for the shore or would you wait to be rescued? It's too easy. Yeah, it's easier to just wait for rescue. But if you're in the middle of the lake, you could be drowning. And so, yeah.
So one of the things that I used also here, I will send this to you, all of this, okay, is those words of Jean-Jacques Rousseau, okay, in the social contract, that we are chained in one way. We're not chained. We are not. And this is what we see in the Red Sea. But yeah, I will send all of this. I will send to you. See how Nachshon is going inside. Today the AI is doing good stuff. Fair enough. Now I know this picture is a bit confusing, but fair enough. So this is those are things that I'm going to share with you. And again, this is one of the most important points of view for the Hebrew nation of how to take responsibility on us. One of the things that we have, or we say in the ethics of the father, it says like that. I will say it in Hebrew and then I will say it in English. Lo alecha hamelacha ligmor, velo ata ben chorin libatel mina. You are not supposed to finish everything. You need to do what you need to do in your life. But on the other side, you're not allowed to say to yourself, because I'm not going to finalize everything, so I'm not going to do things. You don't have the permission of not progressing the world to the next stage. You need to do your stage. Your next generation will do the next stage, whatever it is. But you need to progress the world. You need to continue on. And you need to take the initiative, the hard work, and to continue on, and not to say to yourself, miraculously everything will be okay, or to say to yourself, I don't want to do anything, or to say to yourself,
whatever will be. You need to know when to act. This answers a lot of questions for myself. I mean, I've asked a lot lately. I mean, especially when I'm dealing with security and when to respond and when is it appropriate. And I find there's instances when I have to react because it's the right thing to do. But, it's like you find yourself, you want to be on the side of right. And sometimes you have to step up and be bold and do what needs to be done. But you got to make sure you're on the right side. So for me, it answers a lot of questions. Thank you so much. Beautiful, beautiful material there. I've taken a lot of notes. Does anybody in the class have any questions for the rabbi?
Continue.
We got another 5 minutes. Oh, I see Ange has posted something. Oh, Ange is on her way to Vancouver to tell her grandkids her story. Interesting. Yeah, subdue. Yeah, it's not just about being totally passive and being kind. It's about living your best life. And living your best life means, working your potential to what it can be. And don't just be passive about it. And, you can make the world a better place little by little, but don't be afraid of the trials. Just like Rabbi shared the way the Egyptians came storming after, it sometimes provokes people's emotions, and you've got to keep it together and stay level-headed, and use your God-given intellect and respond boldly when need be, and then great things happen. You can't just, always wait to be delivered.
You all know my email. You all know my phone number, I think, also. I'm only one click WhatsApp away from you. So feel comfortable if you have any questions, anything else. And even if it's taking me a bit of a time, or let's say whatever it is. Hopefully see you all next week. Right?
Next week for sure, Rabbi. I'm looking forward to it. So it's not Passover discussions, but I'm sure you'll have something exciting to share with us, and I look forward to it.
Hebrew Independence Day, you know what it is, The Independence Day of the Hebrew nation is for all over the world. It's not only for us.
There you go. I'm sure there'll be a great lesson. So join us next week, folks. We'll be back same time. And until then, have a wonderful, wonderful week, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Great week ahead. Bye.